you're not seeing comments. You should be able to see the comments. And Lillian says that's very unhealthy. Lillian says change. A leopard doesn't change its spots. Rogers, I hope you're able to see comments, because we should all be able to see the comments that others are sending in. It's a live chat, guys. Go ahead and drop in your comments. I'll be able to read them. Rogers, once you send a comment, you'll be able to see. Try typing in a comment and see if it will come on. And if it doesn't, maybe you need to log off and then come back on. Maybe then it will register. I don't know why you're not able to see comments. And the other option could be you need to also brighten up your lights on your phone so that you're able to see clearly the comments, but they should be there really. Another reason why people stay in toxic relationship is the financial and emotional dependence that Lillian talked about. Many cannot afford to live or have been isolated from family and friends. If you cannot afford to live on your own, because for starters, this person first isolates you from your friends, and you cannot, talk to them, family, people you would run to ideally for help in case you have any need. He cuts you off those people. And the moment you're cut off from them, then he leaves you. He starts threatening to leave you, or puts you on that emotional roller coaster where you don't know where you belong and you have no one to turn to. Because while you are with him, you cut yourself from just about anyone. And so when he leaves, you have nowhere else to go and no one else to turn to. So I think when he does that, it makes some men who do that, it makes them feel macho, where they are the sole providers, they are the only ones you talk to, they are your only friends, they are your everything. They want to create a world where they are the kings, a fake world where they are kings in a kingdom with just you. Can you imagine? They are sick and you really need to run. That is a toxic relationship. An example, people always say, he wasn't always like this. When you see someone who is toxic, you come up with excuses for them. You start saying, he wasn't always like this. I didn't want to start over, so I stayed. Or I don't want to start over, so I'm going to stay. Or I thought I could fix him or her. These people are unfixable. You cannot fix a toxic person. Lillian said the leopard cannot change its stripes. If it's got those marks, it cannot wake up and be like, you know what, tomorrow I'll turn up like a zebra. It cannot. Those prints are printed on there permanently. If a person is toxic, they are toxic. Try and check around in their previous relationships. They had the same pattern. And probably that's why the partners they had before left. And you're there thinking, oh, I will fix him. I must have provoked him to doing that. I must have done something. Or I don't want to start over. Those excuses keep us in such relationships. And the other one could be, he wasn't always like this. I must have done something to change him. Or someone must be behind this. So you start bringing or playing the blame game on other people, except the person that is actually causing the toxins in your relationship. I want to read a comment that I've just seen. It's a live chat, guys. Go on and comment, and I'll read your comments. Oh, Rogers, so you're okay now to read and see comments? That is very good. And Jasper says, but some people are two-faced. Yes, some people are two-faced in a relationship. Now, where two-faced comes in is, if I'm two-faced and you married, but you don't know who you're dealing with in a relationship. But always, this is what I say about relationships. They are telltale signs, but we are too in love, or we want to believe the idea they are the perfect ones. And so we stick in there and overlook so many things that are actually obvious to the world. But we overlook them because we want this to work. Like Roger said, You don't want to be the off layer or a diva, or you don't want to be, you know, the owner that Roger talked about. You want to be honored as Miss So and so or Mr. So and so you stay in that toxic relationship. But being two-faced also can be. That is where Lillian says we need to be real, guys. We need to be real in a relationship. I gave you an example of this lady who went on a date and took down all her food as she had ordered, and the man waited for her outside and was really bitter. I said, "You really eat a lot, and you're too heavy. You need to cut on that weight." And he was furious. And that marked the end of the date. When she came and told me, I told her, "You need to leave this guy because the real you came out and ate the food you had actually ordered." And he had issues with that. Well, that was is a toxic relationship and you need to run. And when she did, she's, never looked behind. Sometimes these things can be fixed one way or the other. And Jasper says it's easy to fall for someone based on what they want to show you. That is very true. Now, it brings me back to what the essence of this channel is: God. You ask God to reveal to you the truth about a person. I cannot rule him out in this one because God has a way of revealing the truth about a person. If a person is really bad, the truth will come out. I mean, I've had cases where people have done things to me behind my back, and God has brought them to light. And I've seen people speak like they're on gunpoint, yeah, telling the things they had done to me without me even being around. And they say them boldly that this one told me to do this and this and this to you and your children or your child, and now he's here doing, you know. So this brings us back to that place of we ask God to reveal the truth about a person because only Him knows the truth about people. We can try to understand them, judge them, or be with them basing on what has been revealed. But like Jasper has said, people are two-faced. If they are two-faced, there is no way you can know which one you're dealing with. Growing up, I never wanted to be going out with an actor, a person who is in entertainment, because I didn't know who I'm dealing with. I mean, today you're in an action movie, you're acting and doing it really so well as, you know, as the killer, and then the next one you're a love freak. Yeah, by the time you get married, no wonder those people who are in Hollywood find it hard to keep relationships. I think because they act so many characters and they take some of these to their homes, and whoever is married or living with them doesn't know who is actually pulling through, whether it's the John Travolta or it's the Michael Douglas or it's the Mel Gibson, or you know, you can't really know. So it is only God who knows the truth about a person, and it would be key that we present those issues about the people that we meet before Him. Put signs. There's a time I told a lady that uh, she was in love and really much in love, but it was seemingly like the guy was using her. And he was not living in the country. The guy was living away from Uganda. But each time he would pay a visit in Uganda, she would be the one paying for the ticket. There is the inflation in Uganda where money has no value at all. So if I have to pay for your ticket coming from a country where the inflation is okay, is not there, or the money has value, and then I have to pay for your ticket every time you're coming. And then when he would come for 2 weeks, but the first week he spends it with his family before he shows up to her. And yet she's the one who would pay for the ticket. I told her, wake up, shine your eyes, or like the Nigerians say, shine your eyes and get to see, yeah, that this person is actually using you. Because you can say, I'm not going to pay for your ticket. If you want to come back, come back. If you don't want, stay there. Let it not be one person driving a relationship. It's got to be two-way for a relationship to work. And the day she put down, she was worried that she could lose the man. I told her, if something is yours, let it go. If it ever comes back, then it is surely yours. Now she was worried that if she let go of the guy and say, well, if you have to come back on your own ticket, or you don't come back at all. That day she did that, the man had planned to come back over for Christmas. He called in and said, well, since you're not paying the ticket, I'm not coming. And she was worried. She was like, okay. But in the meantime, she was also paying so many other bills that the man was supposed to be responsible for, like paying for the brother's tuition. And it looked like she had won the pants in the relationship. But the moment she stopped, I think something snapped, and then the man realized he really had a good thing because no any other woman among the ones he used to come back home to was willing to do that. And now they've been happily married. So some toxic relationships can be reversed early if it is dealt with before marriage. But if things go far and you have children, then these other reasons come in of staying behind because of children and all these other things that we've talked about. Also, there's the cultural and social factors that keep us in relationships. Rogers mentioned one. I mean, you're known in the society that you're Mrs. So and so. So you can't just wake up and leave. Yeah? You can't wake up and leave because you found out the man you actually married to is a psycho or is toxic. You can't, because there are those cultural and social factors. Now, in some cultures, living is a sin. Like the Indian community, it's a sin. There's a lady I met while one of my sisters was getting married, and we had gone to buy her a ring. And the lady that was making the rings is an Indian who had started off a business as a smith making rings, but she was also a scammer. She was melting things and molding them into rings and selling them expensively, because my sister's ring that she bought from her shop, bro, split it into two after just a couple of months. So that goes to show me that she was a scammer. But she told me her story. She said, instead of talking to my sister, she talked to me. And she said, I need to talk to you. And this is an Indian lady. She said, my husband brought me from India to here. We have 5 children. And then he left me for another woman, another Indian woman. Now they live in Kenya. And I'm stuck in Uganda, nowhere to maintain myself and the 5 children. We are renting. I've got to pay rent for the shop, rent for the house where we're staying. I don't know what to do anymore. Now, but before that, she was thinking, because she saw me wearing a ring, that if I'm married and I'm still wearing this ring, probably I know of someone that I can go to that can give her some kind of a charm to bring that man back. She told me, I've tried everything. Anyone who can to bewitch this man so he can come back to this relation. And already before he left, he was abusive, leaving her alone in the house with the children, not paying his playing his part as a man, but she still wanted him to come back home, because in India, it's unheard of if your man leaves after you've been married. I mean, it's okay if he divorces, I think, but divorce is not also so much. But if he just leaves you alone, then I think it's got bad omen and all that. It's a sin. So she wanted him back. So some cultures, living is a sin. That's why people stay in such toxic relationships. In others, women are taught to endure for their children. Many cultures, especially the African culture, many endure for the sake of their children. I mean, it's not taking you anywhere, you're not happy. This person is constantly belittling you, devaluing you, making you feel like you're nothing. And all the other ladies have all that you don't have. But you get to ask yourself, if they have what I don't have, what are you doing with me? So it gets to a place where they enjoy the psychological torture of it, where they torture you psychologically, making you feel less than, making you feel like, you've not got it, and yet they are still with you. So those cultures, women are taught, some cultures like the African culture, you're taught to endure for your children, that you look the other way, or you bear whatever it is that is cast at you for the sake of the children. So some people stay in toxic relationships because of their children. Now, that is the culture aspect, but also cultural values and family pressure. Like Roger said, the cultural values and family pressure can force people to get stuck, even when the relationship is destroying them, to stay. The family pressure, because like in Uganda, where I come from, I don't know where you guys are watching from, but in Uganda, where I come from, uh, when you're getting married, they pay what they call bride price, and sometimes they pay so many things. They bring in the cows, they bring in the chairs, furniture, I mean, all kinds of things. And once the parents get to receive those things, you cannot go back because your man is always constantly reminding you of how much he paid for you to be his wife. So you can't leave except you return all that he gave. But sometimes the things he gave, you're not even in position, your family is not in position to return because they are long spoiled, or your parents sold them to be able to cater for so many things. Probably you're not well to do where you come from. And so it leaves you in this state where you just have nothing to do but to stay in a toxic relationship. One you know that is painful, one you know that is leading you nowhere, but you stay because of family pressure. You don't want to put the weight on your family of having to reimburse the car, the clothes, the furniture that was bought on the day of your wedding. So you stay in a relationship that you know is actually destroying you. I will read a comment. And Roger says, for us, we got women for free. Bambi. Rogers, you're saying that because you're not married. You're what they call kaundo kakubye dinisa. You are one of those men that's, snatched. They call it what? They call it, I won't even say you eloped because you are not even married. You're not recognized. If something happens to that lady in your care, say like anything, you will see when you have to present to the parents where she's been all this time and why she was